These are the best things to do and eat in Kuala Lumpur. Hey fellow explorers, I'm really excited to be in Malaysia's capital for the first time. In this video, we'll visit Kuala Lumpur's major towers and observatories. Yes, including the city's most famous Petronas Twin Towers and its associated Sky Bridge. But I'm gonna take you to an even better spot with an even better view. We'll wander the treetop walk in KL's Rainforest Preserve, where we'll get to see some of the local monkeys. We'll do some shopping and eating in Bukit Bintang, the city's hub of nightlife with amazing shopping malls and associated delicious food courts. And I'm definitely not talking about the kind of food courts with hot dog on a stick and day-old pizza. I'm talking about amazing Malay, Chinese, and Indian cuisine, often cooked up fresh right in front of you upon ordering. We'll visit the National Museum to learn a bit about how Malaysia was formed as a country, and then we'll visit the National Mosque to learn about the national religion of Islam. We're going to experience a bit more nature at the world's largest bird park and its neighboring butterfly garden. We'll take a day trip to the Genting Highlands. This is about an hour's drive outside of KL, and it's often known as the Las Vegas of Malaysia, home to Malaysia's only legalized gambling operated by Resorts World. Yes, the same one that recently opened in Vegas. This is where they got their start. In addition to gambling, highlights here include a really scenic cable car ride, an impressive temple complex often shrouded in fog, and not one or two, but 3 theme parks. On my 4th day, I'll be joined by fellow explorer and KL local Zach, who's going to show us around some more of the sites, including the Batu Caves Hindu temple that you need to climb about 300 stairs to reach, and he'll show us the proper way to eat satay and chicken rice in Malaysia. And finally, we'll wrap things up with a visit to KL's Little Indian neighborhood and the newest mega mall development, TRX, the Tun Razak Exchange. And guiding me throughout these 5 days, I've got that list of 15 of the best things to do and 15 of the best things to eat in Kuala Lumpur, synthesized from all of your recommendations. Let's see how many of them I can get through, and if you want to follow along on that list or maybe take it with you on your trip to KL, you'll find a link to it in the description. And of course, we're going to visit the Petronas Towers. We're just not going to do that first. Why? Because I couldn't get a ticket to do that on the first day. Tickets are really hard to come by on this. You have to reserve them a couple weeks ahead of time. I have a ticket to do that tomorrow, so we're gonna start with a different observatory. To get to the KL Tower, I took a taxi from the Grand Hyatt, 8 ringgit, pretty cheap, and what's great about it, I'd recommend you take a taxi to Grab to get here too, because they bring you all the way to the top and drop you right underneath. I saw a lot of people walking up the hill. It's on the top of a big hill in the Kuala Lumpur heat. It's a pretty rough walk to get up here. But now that I'm up here, wow, the view is absolutely amazing. I always love to start my visit to any new city on an observatory just to get a bearing of the city from the top. All right, and because I'm a sucker for the whole experience and I'm making a video, so you need to see what this selfie is like, I bought a ticket to go in the skybox right over here. There's 2 of them. This one, glass deck that looks out on the Petronas Towers. The other side looks the other way. It's an extra 10 ringgit add-on, and they have like a virtual queue, or is it a real queue? I don't know. You don't stand in line, they give you a ticket. I'm 1090. They said it would take about 25 minutes. Let's see what that picture looks like from out there. Do note, they don't allow high heels at the KL Tower, so make sure, ladies, to bring your flats. All right, so my time was called. I am now here on the skybox where you can see views all the way down to the bottom. I mean, look at that right there. I get 45 seconds. There's 45 seconds on the clock after the photographer took some photos of me with his camera and some photos with my camera, but this, it's worth it. It was worth the wait. It was worth the 10 ringgit to come up here. I would definitely do this again. Though if you're afraid of heights and you don't like to see all the way down, then I want to skip this one. So just a couple floors below the outdoor observation deck is the indoor observation deck. You can check this out if you want to see more things, but honestly, same view down here, just a little lower. I think you'd only do this one if you were here on an inclement weather day. They do close the top deck if the weather's not too good or it's too windy. That was another reason why I picked the morning to come here, because Kuala Lumpur often has its afternoon thunderstorms, so do beware of that. You definitely want to come here on a good weather day and time so you can be outside. I'm a sucker, and so I did buy the photos that photographer took of me. 195 ringgit right here, and that's what the photo looks like that he took up there. Pretty cool photo. There were like 8 total photos that he took. And in addition to this, I get the digital downloads of all the photos and a digital download of the video, which looks like this. They also had another package that didn't come with a book. Instead, it came with some bigger photos, and it came with one of the photos and what looked like a snow globe of sorts. But I will say, as far as indoor observation decks go, this is a pretty nice one, and they do keep the windows pretty clean, so you could take good pictures out of them. I just got down from the elevator at KL Tower, and I'm super glad that I got here when I did, because this is 12:15 now. and this is now the line to go up there. It wraps around here and turn this camera around like this. It keeps going this way. So yes, take my tip, definitely come here early. Now, I am hungry. There's some food around here, but I'm not sure how I really feel about eating pizza in Kuala Lumpur, because that's what we've got by the thing. So I think I'll finish doing the eco park, walk down the hill, and then find some food once I get down. Oh, there is a rotating restaurant up on top, but you do have to make a reservation for that, and there were none left today. Oh, and as I walk to the bottom of the tower, I start to smell something, and I'm like, what is that smell? And then I look over here, and I realize that there's the durian house selling the smelliest food ever. I'm definitely gonna try it while I'm out here, but wow, the stench, strong. Okay, so now the scenic way to get up or down the hill if you're walking, and definitely better down because it's less work, is to take the treetop walk through the Eco Forest Park right here. You'll find this just on the other side of the bus parking, so the entrance is basically right at the top of the hill. And a really cool sight right by the entrance to the Eco Park, there was a whole group of monkeys and a mommy monkey with a baby monkey. Admission into the Eco Forest Park is 40 ringgit. They do close for bad weather, and they let you know at the front that there's no refunds, and that they only take cash only, and that they're closed on Fridays. And their sign says, then that means we're closed every Friday. Thank you, sign. Now this eco park is really quite big, and there's trails that go both ways from that main ticket gate up at the KL Tower. I'm gonna go the short way just to get down the hill. But I always think it's pretty neat to see a forest from the treetops, instead of just from down below, see the forest from on top. All right, after about 20 minutes, I made it to the bottom of the hill. I'm quite moist. I need to find air conditioning and lunch. It's about a 20-minute walk to Bukit Bintang that has a lot of food courts and air conditioning, so I'm gonna walk there. I could take a Grab or a taxi, but it's 14 minutes to do that, or 20 minutes to walk, so just gonna walk. So the walk took me through an interesting residential district of Kuala Lumpur. Lots of expensive high-rise houses here, but I'm thirsty and it's hot, and I found this little 24-hour convenience store in a box that I'm gonna get a drink in there. This is what the inside of it looks like, and boy, those drinks sure look tasty. Okay, looks like I actually found a convenience store that I can shop at. Yes, one that's staffed by a real live human. 250 ringgit for the soybean milk drink. Most importantly though, really cold. I'm just gonna chug this. After I finished chugging my soybean milk, I walked by this 24-hour laundry place, which has coin-operated laundry, but more interesting than that, it actually has this very nice massage chair right here. Ooh, should I sit down for massage? I would, except it's so hot that I don't think I can enjoy it. Oh my gosh, I have just found an all-you-can-eat durian buffet. Though they definitely seem quite closed. I'm guessing that these places only open during nighttime when it's a bit cooler outside. There's a lot of laundry in this neighborhood. I clean laundry. They say they're an urban lifestyle express laundry. Cool. This place is open 24 hours too, but what's also interesting, apparently people don't like to use dryers around here, or they don't want to pay for them, because like every balcony right across from this laundry place has laundry drying on the balcony. Now, I don't think I can vlog much more on this walk because my phone literally says it's going to shut down because it's getting too hot, but let's see if I can get this in. This is a cool shawarma place right here. Shawarma is really popular. Big Muslim country, so you'll find a lot of street-side shawarma stands. Okay, when I got to the main street in Bukit Bintang, it's very noisy and busy here, but I found one of my favorite Japanese convenience stores, and they're actually well-stocked in there, so I got a oolong tea and a green tea. I'm going to drink probably both of these at lunchtime here just shortly because my food court stop is just a block away. 10 ringgit total for the two of these. Oh, and this must be the spot for Instagram selfies because I see someone at work here taking a picture. It's someone taking a picture of them taking a picture. And there's definitely tons of places in this neighborhood to eat, but I'm going to one in particular, the Lot 10 Hutong food court, which is on the lower ground level of this building. They've got a board here by the entrance that has pictures of all the different foods that are for sale in this food court. Crazy. So the problem with this place is there's just too many choices. I can't pick one, but I have to. Okay, well this place has the longest line, which is always a good sign. All right, I've got my Duck King. What did I get? I got the barbecue 3-meat combo with rice. I got 2 types of pork, and I got the duck, of course. It comes with a soup, and my Singaporean friends on my Singapore videos always tell me, Chris, Singapore, when you eat chicken rice, you don't eat it with chopsticks, you eat it with a spoon and a fork. So that's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully duck rice is the same thing. So let's go ahead and start with the duck. It's tender, it's juicy, it's very flavorful. I see why they call themselves the Duck King. Let's go in for the rice. good rice that's going to be cooked in a chicken broth. Maybe this place is cooked in a duck broth. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and try the chashu right here. Also tender, a little bit on the sweet side. I should point out, none of these meats are served particularly hot. They're just maybe a little bit above room temperature. And now let's go in for the roast pork. This one was on my list, so I'm gonna get to check it off in a moment. Nice and crispy. Definitely the saltiest of them all, but I like that taste. Oh, and it is worthwhile to know that if you're dining at food court establishments like this or hawker centers in Kuala Lumpur, they generally don't provide napkins or tissues. And so if you want to wipe your mouth, your face, or your hands, you need to bring them with you. So your hotel likely has them. You likely have a tissue box, or maybe they've got some at breakfast. Bring some with you so you can wipe your hands. Otherwise, if you don't have any, often the drink stalls at places like this sell napkins, or as they call them, tissues. All right, so now that I'm back out of the basement, wetness on the sidewalk, looks like the rain has come through, and Red Bull over here is giving out free drinks. Funny to see Red Bull trying to get into the Malaysian market. Maybe they're already in it and do well. I don't know. Malaysian friends, is Red Bull popular here? So I spent the next couple hours just exploring Bukit Bintang, and one of the things that really surprised me the most about this neighborhood, but I feel like it really defines Kuala Lumpur, is there's these really big high-rises, there's these expensive shopping malls, and they're right across the street or right next to this fairly dilapidated building right here. I mean, the building's dilapidated and abandoned on like the second and third floor, but the ground floor, look at that super popular kebab shop. Oh, and I just thought it was extra cool in here. The Leather Avenue had so many yellow suitcases. They must have known I was coming. I came over to the Jalan Alor street food market because I was nearby, though apparently 5 o'clock is just a little too early. This place becomes pedestrian only at 6, so I will come back here. But I was thirsty, so I got the coconut juice for 5 ringgit. Pretty good, and freshly cracked out of the coconut right here. When I wandered into the Pavilion Mall, I was just struck at how big the shopping mall is. 7 floors, and when I looked down here, it really felt like an M.C. Escher painting, you know, the one where the staircases just keep going up and up and up. I mean, it's almost dizzying looking down there about how big this mall is and people walking on all the different floors. Shopping malls may be dying in the USA, but they're definitely not dying here in KL. It was also interesting to see the American classics of Baskin-Robbins, Starbucks, and TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays in particular I find interesting because I don't feel like they do that well in the US, so maybe they're looking for some other markets just like Red Bull. Oh, and there's even a Toys R Us in here too. Gone in the USA, but you'll find it in KL. Complete with Jeffrey, the Toys R Us giraffe. I don't want to grow up, because if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. And at least while I'm here during December, it's pretty nicely decorated for the Christmas holiday season. Christmas music playing out over the speakers. I'm sure they do it because it makes people shop more, but I also do find the Christmas decoration of the trees to be interesting in a primarily Muslim country. What they're clearly celebrating here is commercial Christmas, the one where you buy stuff for other people, not the actual Christian Christmas. But just to show how multicultural Malaysia is, at the same time, they're also celebrating Happy Chinese New Year. And then when I found myself on the first floor in the Food Republic food court right here, I really felt like I was in a Singaporean food court. I'm gonna make a lot of comparisons to Singapore, because I've been to Singapore like 5 times. This is my first time to KL. The Food Republic is indeed a set of food courts that is in Singapore. The main difference between this one and the food republics in Singapore, everything here is like half to a third of the price of what you'd find in Singapore. This Food Republic is huge. So I was gonna go back out to that Jalan Alor food street, but I was quite enjoying the air conditioning in the Pavilion Mall, and one of the things on my checklist for food is curry laksa that I saw that they had on the menu at Madame Kwans. So that's what I got. I got the curry laksa right here. It's got 2 different types of noodles in it. It's got egg noodles and it's got rice noodles. It is a coconut curry, kind of like spicy broth. It's also got shrimp in it, and it's also got some like tofu pieces in it, and as is typical in Malaysian restaurants, they give you some chili sambal in case you want to like spice it up even more. It's not spicy enough. Some lime too that you can add to it. To drink, I've got the iced tea TRX. This is the Malaysian style pulled tea, but they actually pull it to make it kind of frothy at the top. It can be hot or cold. I got cold because I figured with a hot cauldron of spicy death, I didn't want something hot to drink too. And then it's worthwhile noting here, to order, they gave me this QR code to order. I ordered everything off the menu using my phone, just by scanning this. And it was also nice, they provided like Wi-Fi with a password to access it right there. All right, let's dive in to this. So, let's start with good noodles. Let's go ahead and try the soup. Ooh, spicy. Spicy, but not blow you away spicy. Like spicy, but a complex spicy. Nice and warm and soothing. I like it. Good job, Madam Kwans. But I definitely don't think I'm gonna need the extra chili sambal for it. As I'm walking back to Jalan Alor, because I want to do an evening walk video of it, I made the right choice eating inside. It's still quite hot. But this place right here with the music is a family karaoke parlor. Not just any karaoke, but family karaoke. And boy, there's a few of these guys out here that are in these big outfits to take selfies. They're taking tips, and they must be so hot in those things. They definitely deserve the tips. And you know what? They've got a QR code, so you can give them a tip that way too. And now that I'm at the Jalan Alor food street, really busy here. And frankly, even if you don't want to eat any of these foods, I think it's pretty interesting to walk up and down the street once it's pedestrianized and just look at all of these really interesting things that they serve here, which definitely includes lots of durian. All right, well now that I'm done exploring the food street and I'm quite moist from heat, even though it's dark, time to head back to the hotel. I know it's only 7:30, but tired I am. And it is 12 minutes if I take a car, or it's 20 minutes if I walk, so I'm gonna go ahead and walk. Maybe a little more exercise is always good for sleeping, right? All right, I'll see you at the hotel, and then I'll do a quick room tour before I hit the hay. Well, take a shower before I hit the hay. So. Okay, 20-minute walk complete. I'm now back at my hotel, the Grand Hyatt Kuala Lumpur, room 3524. Let me give you a quick tour of this. I used World of Hyatt points to book this hotel, 81,000 points for 6 nights, but it's somewhere between 150 to 200 US dollars if you were to pay cash for it. Big king bed. It's interesting because it's kind of like a floating style, like it's on this podium here, but it's in the middle of the room instead of the side of the room. That's the bathroom back there. I'll show you what this glass does in a moment. That's pretty cool. There's a nice desk over here that I can use to offload my video files, use my computer editing. It's not there because I stow it away in my backpack, so the housekeeping doesn't see it there. Looking out the window, there's gonna be a bunch of glare as I look out this, but if I put this up to the glass, maybe you can see now. There you go. You can see the KL Tower right in the center, and then Merdaka 118 over on the left. Cool view out this window. Even better in the daytime when there's no glare. Nice chair that you can sit on to look at the view. They had some fruits when I checked in that I haven't eaten yet, and a nice letter to say welcome to the room. And over this way in the bathroom, I said I wanted to show you that glass. This is where the bathtub is and shower, and then this glass right here, there's this switch that says privacy that you can flip that, and then all of a sudden you can see through the glass and you can see the view outside from the bathtub. Or if you'd like privacy, you can hit that button again, and then you have privacy. And no, I wasn't able to stay up till midnight to see the fireworks out there, but that's okay because CNN, they were broadcasting the fireworks from Sydney, Australia at 9 o'clock KL time, because Sydney is 3 hours ahead of Kuala Lumpur. So thank you, CNN, for the fireworks from Australia. Happy New Year. Good morning and a happy new year from the 38th floor of the Grand Hyatt, from the aptly named 38 restaurant. This is the amazing breakfast buffet that I'm going to tell you about in just a moment, but I do want to share about the fireworks last night. While I did not stay up for the countdown, I did in fact see the fireworks outside of my window because, well, they woke me up. There were like 3 different fireworks displays. It was very festive, and it was even more interesting to look down and see the crowds of people leaving the celebrations afterwards. Really, I kind of felt voyeuristic from my 35th floor room looking down at all those people down at the bottom. All right, now it is 7:20 in the morning, just a little past sunrise, and this breakfast buffet is included in my room rate because I used a Hyatt Club Access Award to get it. You can also book room rates that include it. This breakfast buffet is one of the best breakfast buffets I've been to anywhere. It has a Western section and an Asian section, and let me show you what I've got here. I have a masala tea that's made of the pulled tea. They actually pull it right here. They make it fresh. Delicious. It's got some ginger and some spices in it. Great way to wake up for the morning. I have a lychee kombucha. They have tons of fruit juices. This is a star fruit juice. They also fresh squeeze juices for you, or fresh press them, depending upon what you get. Western things, I've got a apricot yogurt made in Malaysia. They do cook-to-order eggs, so I got an Eggs Benedict right here that they actually, at the time I ordered it, they grilled the ham and they grilled the biscuit, and then they put the egg on top after they poached it. So that was a great made-to-order egg. Asian fruits, I really love dragon fruit. They've got tons of great pastries. Here we've got a blueberry Danish and a pistachio Danish. And then here, something to check off my list, a roti canai. This is like a Indian kind of flatbread that they fresh make on a grill over there. It comes with a couple dipping sauces. So the way this works, and it's basically an Indian breakfast food that's really popular here. In Malaysia, they call it roti canai, and in Singapore, they call it roti prata. But it's soft and it's fluffy, and it'll come with a few things you can dip in. This is a spicy curry that you can dip it in right here. Good. Spicy. Very spicy. Much spicier than the laksa from last night. A great way to wake up and get those juices going. And then this is a dal right here with some basically lentils. Less spicy, more mild, delicious. I'm going to be eating this buffet for the rest of my visit here, but I won't bore you with it as part of the vlog every day. So just know, if you're coming to Kuala Lumpur and you are staying in a luxury hotel, the breakfasts, including this one, absolutely amazing, absolutely worth it. Don't miss out on these if you like breakfast buffets, and you know I do. Oh, and on my way back to my room, I just wanted to point out this sign. They do not allow smelly fruits on the hotel, like durian. After I finished breakfast and freshened up in the room, I took a taxi to the National Museum of Malaysia. It opens at 9 o'clock here on January 1st, New Year's Day, and I wanted to get here early because on a public holiday, museums like this get busy, particularly with a lot of kids when they're out of school. So good news, I think I was the first person at the ticket counter. So the first gallery focuses on like the old history of just how Malaysia land was created, some of the cave people in Malaysia, the original Arab trade routes. It's interesting to see the land maps when the sea levels were low, that peninsular Malaysia, and then the other part of Malaysia where Borneo is, were actually connected. That's how it all works. The air conditioning didn't work in this gallery, so I didn't stay in here for very long. The second gallery is focused on the rise of the royals in Malaysia. Yes, Malaysia is still ruled by the royal family. There's a group of sultans that rule Malaysia. That's why you enter this gallery through a little palace door. They've got a replica of a royal throne that was used in 1918 when they installed His Royal Highness Sultan Iskandar Shah. There's two more galleries upstairs. The first, Gallery C, focuses on the colonial era. So this is when Malaysia was under British rule and what that looked like, or Portuguese rule in this case. There's a diorama of the Portuguese attacking Malacca. And apparently when they did, they burned all of the remaining Malay ships that were there. And apparently once they conquered the port, they also burned all the remaining Malaysian ships. And yes, here we go. We get the British rule in 1791 for the British occupation of Penang. That is until the 1940s, World War II, with the Japanese occupation. And the final gallery goes into the history about how Malaysia became the country it is today after the Japanese surrendered in World War II. So at the end of that surrender, there was a big uprising in Malaysia against the British military. The British Crown said, fine, we're going to pull out. You can be your own country. It then took a number of years until 1957 for the establishment of the Federation of Malaya. Now, the country we know today as Malaysia was formed in 1963 by combining some other land areas, including Singapore, but that only lasted for 2 years until Singapore separated in 1965. And this is the map of Malaysia as it exists today, and what I didn't realize until I came here and was researching this trip is that Malaysia is actually separated by a whole bunch bunch of ocean. This is where Kuala Lumpur is. This is where Singapore is, right at the bottom of this. Thailand's up here. And then there's a whole bunch of water, and then there's a whole other part of Malaysia. I'm not gonna make it there on this trip, but I'll have to put that on the schedule for another one. And finally, they have a display of the traditional attire of the various cultures that make up Malaysia today. The Chinese, the Indians, and of course, the Malays. Now, it's a bit too early for me to eat here, but they do have a museum cafe that serves traditional style Malaysian eats. Looks to be pretty cheap too. For one person, 15 ringgit. For 4 to 5 people, 45 ringgit. And if you're connecting a visit to the National Museum to the other attractions around here, the National Mosque, the Bird Park, there's a handy bridge that goes over the road. It'll take you up to the hill where all the other stuff is. It's even got a nice escalator. So from the National Museum, I'm now gonna check out the National Mosque. Google Maps says it's 11 minutes walking. Well, Google Maps doesn't show a lot of times. It's hills, like this. There's a cool bridge that you take from the mosque over the highway. It'll bring you on this side, and then you take this staircase up to the planetarium, and you go by the police museum, and I think if I was gonna do this again, I might do it in reverse, and end with the National Museum, because it's at the bottom of the hill. But if you're doing it this way, this is also where Google Maps doesn't give the right directions. Where the covered path ends, you keep going up to the ticket counter for the planetarium. To get to the National Mosque, you basically go under the planetarium, you turn left over here. And then from the other side of the planetarium, you find this staircase and go down. So I don't know that it's ultimately better mosque or museum, since you just have to seem to walk up and down this hill to get there. All right, now walking a little further down this path, we can see the entrance to the National Police Museum, closed today because it's a public holiday, and a really great skyline view of Kuala Lumpur. And also like a back view of the KL Bird Park, the netted-in aviary that we're gonna visit a little later. All right, so after what amounted to more like a 20-minute walk that I probably wouldn't do again because it was hot. I would probably take a grab to get here. I'm at the National Mosque. First thing you have to do when you get to the National Mosque, you gotta take off your shoes. They don't allow shoes inside. And you need to be properly attired, which for men means short sleeves or long sleeves, no tank tops, and pants. Chris, what are you gonna do about that? Well, I could wear the robe. They have robes that you can wear. Looks like it's gonna be hot. I've come prepared for this. I have pant legs for my shorts. These are shorts that zip off right there and has a pant leg. I just need to make sure I put on the right side to the right side. It's got a little color code here, right there. All right, let's go ahead and slip the leg through. And then we'll just put that zipper in. And voila, pants, fully panted. All right, put my shoes in the rack. Not super worried people are gonna take them because I don't feel like other people fit in size 14 Hokas. And now that I'm inside the mosque, it's actually kind of nice to have my shoes off because, well, lets my feet air out because they were getting pretty hot in those shoes. I wasn't really sure whether I wanted to visit the National Mosque on this trip other than so many of you recommended it, and that's why it made it onto my checklist, and I'm glad it did. The reason why I wasn't, I have nothing against mosques, just sometimes like churches, you visited one church, you've seen them all. Sometimes I feel that way about mosques, but this is like a very open, bright mosque. I love the blues and the whites. So it's pretty cool in here. And I also really appreciate that they let you take photos and videos. And the people who work here, they're super friendly, which is awesome as well. Now, I was originally gonna do this day in a whole different order. I was gonna start with the bird park, and then I was gonna visit the National Museum, and then I was gonna visit the mosque after lunch until I realized that that wasn't gonna work because it's closed for prayer time during lunchtime, and I couldn't visit it as a tourist during that hour. So I had to rearrange the day to make sure I got here before lunch. Oh, they've got bottles of water for 1 ringgit. That's like 20 cents for the bottle of water. Good deal. And it's on the honor system, of course, too. Now, the tour through the mosque is generally self-guided. You go where you want to. You can go through most of it. There's a few areas that they say are off limits, but hey, no big deal. They do let you go inside the prayer hall to take a look. You can take photos in there. Definitely make sure you get to see it. It's really quite beautiful. Stained glass. The roof is meant to resemble an umbrella. And then I spent about 30 minutes in there chatting with a volunteer of the mosque. She was super friendly, told me all about the architecture, why it is, how Islam in Malaysia is different than in the Middle East. If you don't want to do that, but she was super friendly, not pushy about Islam at all. They've also got some pamphlets and brochures that are just out there that you can pick up if you were interested in learning about why they pray or how they pray. I definitely think it's worth a visit. And yep, shoe's still here. But before I put the shoes back on, I definitely need to take off these pant legs before I begin my 15-minute walk to the bird park. in the sun. Ta-da! All right, as I'm walking back to the bird park and I walk past the hop-on, hop-off bus tour, I'm like, ah, that makes a lot of sense now. So if you don't want to do this walk around this museum thing, that might be a good reason to buy one of those tickets. Because the hop-on, hop-off bus also stops at the National Museum. I must be getting closer to the bird park now because I start to hear the bird calls. Those are my bird calls. They don't sound very much like birds, do they? But they're not gonna call when I want them to. Unless you can hear that. I'm not sure how good this microphone is. All right, I've made it into the bird park. This is the world's largest walk-in aviary. First things first though, lunch. And it says you can get satay up there in the Hornbill Cafe. This is inside, you gotta pay admission, then you kind of come in here and go up this staircase and get to the restaurant over there. I am hungry, it's noon. Time for food, especially since I had breakfast at 7 this morning. Okay, made it into the Hornbill Cafe, and they lied to me at the ticket counter. I asked them if this was outside or inside the park, and they said inside. Well, I guess it wasn't a lie. You can get there both ways. You can get there through the gift shop inside the park, or you can get there from the parking lot outside. You can enter both ways. It's technically outside the park. You use your wristband as the ticket to get back in. All right, what have I got right here? Well, to drink, I got a chilled coconut with the coconut juice. I got coconut juice yesterday, but that one wasn't the whole thing. This one definitely more expensive than the coconut juice yesterday. This was about 20 ringgit right here. It's good. It's called served with the straw and also served with a spoon so that you can use the spoon to basically carve your own coconut meat and then eat it. All right, and my main courses here, what did I get? I got the Malaysian style fried mee. Noodles. Mee is noodles in Malaysian. And this has shrimp, it has chicken, it has an egg on top, it's got some spicy sauce to go with it, it's got a lime you could spread on it. This was 30 ringgit. Definitely paying theme park zoo type prices. Portion's not too big either, so I don't think I'm gonna go hungry after this. They clearly want me to save room for dessert. All right, so the question is, what's the verdict? How was it? Well, clearly with so much noodles remaining on my plate, it was not that awful. It's actually pretty good. Oh, that's a banana leaf that they serve it on the bottom. Typical of serving noodles in Malaysia. If you're not into Malaysian food, they've also got a whole Western menu. You can get like fish and chips and burgers and that sort of stuff. I'd say the restaurant was pretty good for something that's in a bird park. There is an air-conditioned area. It has maybe 10 tables in it. This is where I decided to sit because I really wanted some air conditioning. There's also a cool terrace outside that like looks out on the aviary. That's pretty neat as well. It is a waiter place where you order from a server, but they were really fast. Like from the time I placed my order, this food was here in like 5 minutes or less. So I would definitely do this again, especially because it's like the only thing to eat anywhere nearby. And you can even eat here if you're not going into the bird park. So if you're just gonna do maybe the Botanical Garden or something like that, you can hop out of the Botanical Garden, get yourself some noodles, and continue on your way. All right, first things first, the birds that you can take selfies with, they were just coming back from their lunch break at 1 o'clock, so I had to get in for one of those. 40 ringgit, and this is the most birds I've ever had on me at the Kuala Lumpur Bird Park. This is the world's largest bird park. This is amazing. 40 ringgit included them giving me a printed photo. Honestly, I just like the digital ones they took on my phone, which was super cool that they do that. This seems to be a trend here. Take it on your phone at the observatory at the KL Tower. They take it on your phone here. They make a video. So I love that. 40 ringgit, 10 bucks. Pretty reasonable price for that picture. Oh, and as I'm walking around the bird park after that parrot photo, I start to hear some chants. Remember, we're right near the National Mosque. That is the lunchtime call to prayer. That's why the mosque is closed to visitors at this hour. But all around Kuala Lumpur, you can often hear this at the prayer times. The bird park is open every day of the year, including holidays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Probably the only time you don't want to be here is when it's raining, because even though it's a covered aviary, yeah, the water is going to come right through that, and there's not much in the way of shelter here. So after taking the parrot selfie, which was definitely the highlight of this whole bird park for me, I spent about another hour walking around the bird park, seeing some birds getting fed, seeing some peacocks, seeing some turkeys. I'm now in the gift shop on my way out. I'm gonna go to the Botanical Gardens, but before I go there, because it's another outdoor thing, I want to cool down because it's strategically very nicely air conditioned in this gift shop, standing under the air conditioner, so that you can stand here for a little while and just admire all the merchandise and hopefully buy something before you go. It's very strategic of the bird park. Oh, why do you have a giraffe? Well, I really like the walk from the bird park to the botanical gardens. It's the shortest of the day. The bird park, this little wood structure behind the bus stop. Botanical garden, just right across the street. Nice. All right, so entrance to the botanical garden, absolutely free, and it's relatively peaceful here. I've only seen about 3 people so far in the 15 minutes I've been here. I've walked through the orchid garden, which only had a few orchids blooming right now. Apparently in springtime there's thousands of orchids blooming. Right behind me is the hibiscus garden. This is the national flower of Malaysia. As I walk down these stairs and I look at this fountain, I really feel like jumping in it right here because it's so hot. And that looks like it would be so refreshing. This garden could also use better maps. I haven't found one map in this place yet. So I'm using Google Maps to walk around. The walking directions don't work because they don't show these staircases, things like that, but I'm using it to try to figure out the general direction that I'm going. Using my Boy Scout skills with my handy compass. Of course, now that I'm away from the tall trees, I can also use that as a guide. Towards the KL Tower and back to air conditioning. When I spoke too soon about maps, as soon as I said it, here is one. It's not a good map because I have no idea where you are here is. They've got enough room on this thing to put these things up here. Where am I? I don't know. All right, so I was gonna call a grab to go back to civilization, but the sign tells me the butterfly park. It's just that way. And Google Maps is a 4-minute walk away. It's on my checklist. Someplace you all recommended, so I'm gonna go check out the butterflies. All right, I'm inside the butterfly park now, and this one has a net, so not to keep the birds in, just keep the butterflies in. A lot of water features in here. It feels a little bit like a Chinese garden, or something like that, or a jungle. Like, it feels like a botanical garden, except there's thousands of butterflies in here. It's hard to see on the camera when I'm shooting me, but trust me, they fly around, they land on things. They go back there. There were a couple. Admission was cash only, 30 ringgit. And if you needed toilet paper, you had to ask at the reception counter at the bathroom. Here's a cool black and yellow butterfly. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Boom, boom, boom. For me, this was definitely a check-in-the-box type attraction, but if I was here with my 5-year-old daughter, the Curious Princess, we would have stayed a lot longer. 20 minutes in, now it's time for me to find air conditioning. There's a lot of butterflies here on a pineapple. One of the reasons I always like to stay in city center hotels is that you can come back and do a quick change, relax in the middle of the day. Basically done a full wardrobe change from top to bottom to make it all dry out, including my socks. Drank a lot of cold beverages to get the hydration back in because I felt like I sweat about 2 gallons today. And now I'm gonna head out to the Petronas Towers. It's 4 o'clock. I've got a ticket for 6 o'clock observatory viewing. I gotta get there at 5:45. They say they're very strict about being there on time, so I wanna make sure I can find it well ahead of time so I don't miss my time to do Kuala Lumpur's most iconic attraction. I know you're thinking, Chris, you didn't change your shirt. That's the same shirt. I've got like 10 yellow shirts in my suitcase. Trust me, this one's dry. Wow, and as I walk outside, I just feel the warm glove of the steaminess just grab me like this. Now, I know you might be thinking, Chris, why 10 shirts if you're only in KL for 5 days? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. It's because after this, I'm gonna go to Taiwan, where Osigro and the Curious Princess are. They went there to visit Grandpa and Grandma. So if you were concerned about like, hey, is everything okay? Because you spent New Year's by yourself, don't worry, everything's okay. We'll just end with that. Thanks for your concern. Well, you should really be concerned about those. Chris, you're gonna be okay in the heat. The good news is it's a pretty short walk to the Petronas Towers, so I think so. All right, well, if you were concerned between the last clip and this clip, thank you very much. I made it through the heat. Now I'm inside the Suria KLCC mall. This is the mall right next to the Twin Towers. Just scoping out where I might eat afterwards. There's a really neat food court up there. Then I saw some char kway teow. It's on my list. And if it's not too busy, afterwards. That's what I'm gonna eat. All right, I found the ticketing and check-in area. Here's how you get here because it's not straightforward. It's on the basement level. They call it the concourse level. You can't get there from that level of the mall. From the mall, you have to be on the ground floor. You go into the Petronas Towers lobby, which basically is just walking away from the KLCC park, walking away from that lake with the fountains on it. And then when you get to the Petronas Towers side, it looks like an office complex lobby. You go down one set of escalators, and that's where you get here. That you can check in with your tickets, or if you didn't able to reserve them online, you can buy them on site. They open at like 8 or 9 in the morning, and people say that if you really want to take it, you can start lining up at 6. I don't know what's crazy, but that is an option for you. But they were definitely sold out for today. All right, and the time has come at the beginning of the observatory tour. It's a guided tour, so they take you through and they give you a certain amount of time to go to each thing. This thing that I'm on, this is the Sky Bridge. This is the thing that connects the two different buildings together. They give you 10 minutes in here to take pictures, do video, do a TikTok dance, I guess, if you want to. So the whole check-in process is a lot less of a haze than at the KL Tower, because there's long lines and things like that. But here, as long as you hear your time, then it's actually pretty chill. You just gotta make sure you get a ticket. And the views off of the Sky Bridge, pretty good, though you can't actually see the Twin Towers from it. I mean, you look up and you just see the top of the bridge. Looking down below, you can see the KLCC park, really neat public park here in the city center, and you can see the Grand Hyatt where I'm staying, this little building right here. And definitely the cool part of the bridge. There's these just a couple little pop-outs in the middle if you want to get in there and take that sweetheart photo. What's hilarious is when I said sweetheart photo, I saw a flash, and there's a camera above my head that says smile right there. It flashed. I assume that's a picture I can buy later. Funny. And they do a good job of keeping the windows clean so you can take your pictures out of them, and because they only let a few people in at a time, you don't feel like packed in. You actually do kind of feel like you can find a spot and get a good picture, talk yourself on a camera. Nobody thinks you're weird. Maybe they think I'm weird, but that's okay. I almost feel like 10 minutes on this bridge is a little too much for a lot of people. I see some people starting to walk back and they said, oh, you still have 4 minutes. All right, well now that the blue group is here, it's time for the red group to go. Didn't like the blue group anyway. After the 10 minutes on the Sky Bridge is up, then you take another elevator up to the 86th floor for the observatory. Not quite the top floor. There's a couple floors that are higher than this, but those are just maintenance floors. This is the view from the top looking down at the KLCC park. You can see it is much higher up here. So I do think one of the cool parts of this observatory is you can see the Petronas Towers and both of the other towers in the background, the KL Tower and Merdaka 118. If you're bored of looking at the view, they also have some like interactive art things that you can do. You can stand, it's got like a connect box, you can move the Twin Towers around. It's kind of fun. Why is my hand on my forehead? Oh, because I could put the Twin Towers there. I mean, so overall, I'm super glad I did this. I'm glad I did this and the KL Tower. But if I could only do one, like if I only had limited time, I would just do the KL Tower. The fact that you're outside is amazing. It makes the view even better, and you don't have to contend with the glass for your views to take pictures out of. It's clearly much harder for them to keep the glass clean on this floor. But kind of a good deal about the gift shop is it's got a view too. So if you didn't see enough of the view on the previous floors, you can admire the view here too. And you can even admire the view on this floor with a coffee or a snack. Try to get a few more dollars out of you before you go. It is kind of annoying though. They actually force you to stay on the gift shop floor for 10 minutes. I feel like I'm on a Chinese tour group in a medicine shop. So boy, all of those elevators and all of that admiring the view really worked up an appetite, and I was glad to actually find a seat at the food court, believe it or not. Here I've got the char kway teow. They walked it up fresh. From the time I ordered it, it takes about 10 minutes because they were busy, but like the whole process of them making it is about 3 minutes from beginning to end. These rice noodles, I got the extra prawn version, so 19 ringgit. Comes with some chopsticks, comes with some spicy sauce that you can also add on top. Maybe I'll do that already to kind of spice it up a little bit. Got that banana leaf on the bottom. Smells delicious. It's hot, fresh, just my style. If you're doing the Petronas Towers and you're trying to figure out what to eat in this food court, there's a good choice. Oh, and what am I drinking? You know I've got drinks. I've got two. I'm really thirsty. It's hot today. What's the pink one? The pink one is Sirap Bandung. This is like a rose drink. It clearly was made hot, and then they put ice in it, as they do with many of these things. This is also an iced tea tarek, so I got to stir it up a little bit. Very pleasant. I've never had anything like this before. Well, a good Thursday morning to you, fellow explorers from the Genting Highlands. We're off to an interesting start this morning because, well, to get here from the hotel, I had a couple Grab drivers cancel on me. One called me up and said, I can't make the drive. My car's 10 years old. There's no way I'll be able to make the drive. And so I requested a premium Grab. I figure, well, that's going to be a newer car. They'll be able to make the drive. Luckily, they showed up in a very nice van. I've never been in a van quite as luxurious as that one. 120 ringgit to get here, or about $30 US. Pretty reasonable price, actually, for a roughly 1 hour drive to get here. And as we were on our way, I could see why somebody who had an old car might not want to get up here, because it's a pretty big, windy, twisty road. And it's in the Highlands, so it's foggy, and the temperature much nicer than down in Kuala Lumpur, where you get dropped off to come here. But from the shopping mall, there's a cable car. You go up to Resorts World Genting, the only legalized gambling in Malaysia, hence the Las Vegas of Malaysia that we're gonna go on in just a moment. I'm not gonna hang out around the shopping mall because it's a Simon shopping mall. There's a whole bunch of these outlets in the USA. I don't need to see this. I'm headed up, and neither do you. I'm headed up to Resorts World. This does seem to be a popular place to shop, though. There's already a long line for coach at 11 a.m. Let me tell you, this is a busy, popular place. The line to get on the cable car, much longer to get into coach, even here at 11 a.m. There was a sign, it wasn't quite that long yet, but the sign was like, from this point, the wait is 60 minutes. Now, luckily, there's an option to buy a express ticket, express return, which is what I booked for 32 ringgit, which is $8 total, round trip. And then you get in this line. That's the line, that's the regular ticket line. This is the express line. And I think I just get to walk right up to boarding. A slightly short line, but still long, for the glass bottom gondolas. The cable car is a shared ride experience, up to 8 people per car on the way up. The views are definitely quite pretty, but a few minutes in, kind of really got into the fog. That's why I could also see the Swee Temple, and then we got to the first stop to get to the temple. So I got off, and here I am, and let's go check out that temple. Though there were some signs that said, I guess, the usual escalator to get to its closed, but guests can still visit it by roadway. See what that is. Well, the line for the shuttles was quite long, but there was a very enterprising taxi driver standing saying, one person, taxi, 5 ringgit to the temple. So, hopped on, 3-minute ride down here to the temple. And what was I greeted with when I got here? Durian and incense. Actually, mostly incense. And if one didn't do enough shopping below in the outlet mall, there's shops here at the temple, too. Let's look a bit more of the touristy temple variety. Now, it's interesting, preparing for this trip as a content creator, in addition to creating videos, I watched other people's videos to prepare for this trip, and I was not prepared for the immensity of this temple, like escalators to go up, the shops, the restaurants. It's really big. I just always saw everybody's shot at that, like, 8-story pagoda. Much more than just that. So this temple was founded by Dr. Lim Go Tong, the founder of Resorts World Genting. He built the hotel and the casinos up above. He also built this temple. But I found this really cool observation deck on the top of the Go Tong Hall. It's really hard to find on this bizarre door to get up here. But once you're up here, you get some really great views of the temple and the surrounding hills. And now you might be saying, Chris, what's the view? There's the multi-story pagoda, but let me tell you, just 3 minutes ago it was sunny, and this is what it looked like. It's amazing how quick the weather changes here from sunny to shrouded in clouds. And from here, you can look up and see Resorts World proper. All those buildings up on top. Oh, and if you want to dress the part, you can even rent some costumes and a photographer to go along with you to take some classic pictures. Someone's ringing a big bell over there. I think it's over here somewhere. And they say you too can ring the bell for 1 wish and 5 ringgit. And just beside the big bell and the Buddha next to it is the Journey to Enlightenment, where you walk up this path right here, bong more wishes, and you learn about the story of the 10 different hells to get to enlightenment via some creative dioramas and statues. And yes, each of the chambers is explained if you want more information in Chinese and English. And I will say, hiking the stairs on this journey, path to enlightenment, I feel unusually winded. I like to consider myself pretty in shape. I'm gonna chalk it up to the elevation difference. Why am I looking down? Because I'm trying to walk downstairs as I shoot this video. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Safety first, Chris, safety first. You don't want to end up in some place where you, I won't end up there. I'm enlightened now. So. But the best thing about walking around this temple complex and the Genting Highlands so far, not hot. Temperature's beautiful. I love it. First time in the last 3 days that I haven't been sweating to the oldies. See, nothing to white. Nothing to white. I love it. Oh, and below the area that's like the main temple grounds, there's a lot more stuff too. There's a vegetarian restaurant, there's a hotel here. You know what's off in the distance? There's even a Starbucks. There's even a convenience store and a boba tea stand. To get back up to the temple, I took that same taxi with that same taxi driver back up for 5 ringgit, got on the Skyway for another short 5-minute ride, enshrouded in tons of fog to the top, and now that I got off the cable car right there, I'm here inside Resorts World, the Las Vegas of Malaysia. And what am I greeted with as my first thing inside, right here? A stall that sells durian pizza. Okay, well, I am hungry, but I don't think the durian pizza is going to do it for me. It's 12:30, it's lunchtime. This complex is amazingly huge, so I don't think I'm going to have a hard time finding something to eat. On the hunt. Look, well, there's apparently a Five Guys here, which I'm going to give a hard pass. This floor, there's restaurants, cafes, and bars, and then the first floor is food and beverage. What do you think the difference is? My first impression of this place, just being here for 5 minutes, is that it's absolutely wild. There's an elephant here that's going at the entrance to Ripley's Adventureland. There's an indoor zip line. I mean, it's quite a place. And over here, there's a finger that's beckoning me to come in. This is the classic Ripley's, believe it or not, the auditorium of just weird things. They've also got storage lockers around, so you brought your luggage, 20 for a small, 50 for the big. Oh, they've got a really neat arcade that I didn't see at Dance Dance Revolution, but there is a Dance Rush Stardom, which is pretty close. Now, another big difference between this and Las Vegas than just the fact that there's a lot of animatronic animals that are yelling at me, is the smoke that I smell in the air here is not cigarette smoke, but the same kind of incense that was at the temple down the hill. I don't think it's wafting up here, but that incense is burning inside. Oh, well, now I've found the indoor adults theme park where there's a replica Eiffel Tower, there's a carousel, there was like a flying fish going over my head, more restaurants around here, there's like this thing with a boat inside of it and a giant crab on it. There's like an indoor roller coaster that's going by that way. After exploring the indoor theme park, getting blown away by all the flashing lights and sound in there, I found myself near the path to the First World complex. There's a few different hotels that are here, and the First World Hotel is the biggest hotel that's up here. It's not just the biggest hotel that's up here, it's the biggest hotel in the world. 7,000 rooms in this hotel. So of course I have to go look at it. So I'm gonna go look over there. On the maps, there was a whole bunch of food over there too, so maybe that's where we'll find lunch. Oh, but on my way, there's some interesting sweets back here. Look, they even got a plaque here to tell you the same thing. World's largest hotel, opened in 2015 with 7,351 operational hotel rooms. I guess that's an important distinction. Now, this is one of the most unique hotel lobbies I think I've been to. First of all, because there's a little car driving around that says it's in training. But it's primarily self-check-in. If you notice at every one of these like columns, there's self-check-in kiosks. There are fans up on top to try to circulate the air, which is not very good. It's very stuffy in here. And I think I think they don't maybe have a lot of air conditioning because they just feel they don't need it, but oh, it's stuffy. And in the lobby, there are some workout equipment that you can work out. There are some benches that you can sit at here. This is the chill zone, so you can be quiet because you're on vacation. There's a small check-in area, video games that people can play while maybe the kiddos are waiting. But like, you know, this area with the view that you look out on, I'll just look back out on here. Here, let's take a look out there. Oh, we get a little bit of sunlight now. There we go. Oh, but it looks like if you want to be seen by a human, you have to take a number, and then they call your number to the counter. And then there's a couple special check-in kiosks if you need assistance with the check-in kiosk, which is this line, and this line. If you wonder what the room rates are like at this hotel, they're really cheap. If you want to stay for just 4 hours, a short stay to freshen up, you can stay for 50 ringgit, which is about 12 US dollars. All right, so I finally found a place that looks interesting, the aptly named Lobby Cafe. You know, since it's the Vegas of Malaysia, seems like the Lobby Cafe is a suitable place to eat. Classic Malaysian counter-serve sort of place. You walk up, give them your order, they give you your food, you pay at the cashier on your way out, cafeteria style. I've got the nasi lemak with chicken rendang. So this is rice, sambal, nuts, anchovies, cucumbers, egg, a spicy kind of curry chicken, and 16 ringgit for that. For an extra 4 ringgit, a tea, tadak, 20 ringgit total. The tea is the best that a vending machine can offer. I've never seen a sign like this before in a hotel. It says room touting is strictly prohibited. You are prohibited from booking a room and then trying to resell it out here to other people. You need to book all your rooms through the hotel. Do people do that? Do people actually stand out here and be like, do you want a room? I can sell your room. Now, they do offer some short stay rooms. The sign says like 50 ringgit for 4 hours. No reservation needed, just check in. I tried to do that just to see what it was like. It says we're all sold out tonight. Is that crazy? 7,000 rooms and there's not one left. Crazy. Now, while I find the air quality in this hotel to be worse than that of Las Vegas casinos, as soon as I cross this line right here, the air is immediately fresh. And, well, what happens right here? There's an escalator to go up to the casino, and there's a hallway to go to Crockfords, the highest end hotel here in Genting Highlands, and it's a stark difference between the cheapest hotel and the most expensive. And they're very proud of the fact that they're a Ford's 5-star travel guide award winner. So proud that they want to let you know that they've got a whole bunch of gold stars for you to walk through to get in. Modest, are they? Well, whether they're modest or not, it's so much nicer in here. I can actually breathe. If you're staying at Crockfords, then they actually have free limousine transfers between here and the Genting Grand. All right, it was too noisy and the air quality was too bad inside. I needed to come outside to like talk anymore because I feel like I was losing my voice inside. So after visiting Crockfords, I went and checked out the casino. To get in the casino, it's a really interesting procedure. They've got like metal detectors and turnstiles, and they don't let you in with any big bags, and they check your ID if you look younger than 30. They don't allow photography inside, and when you get in the casino, it's so busy. So many people gambling in there, but there's nothing other than gambling. And to gamble, you have to sign up for a player's card. You can't gamble without it. They want to track exactly who's winning and losing on every game. If you're not a gambler, one cool thing inside, free juice, hot coffee, and hot tea. Compared to a Las Vegas casino, definitely not as exciting, but I'm sure it makes Resorts World a bunch more money here than they make in Las Vegas. Okay, after that, it was time for me to visit the theme park, and not the indoor theme park, the outdoor theme park, because I wanted to get outside. It was getting stuffy in there, and that was the closest way that I could see to get outside. 198 ringgit to get into the theme park, and then 20 ringgit to use a locker to store my stuff so that I could go on one of the rides. And it was funny, riding the Ice Age roller coaster, when I got in line, they actually made sure I was shorter than 190 centimeters. Like, they put me next to it to be like, you need to be shorter than this. Anyway, the Ice Age ride, it's a roller coaster, great views. It's like really cool to see Genting Highlands from up there, but this roller coaster is so fast at the end. If you like thrill rides, you'll like this one. And if you don't, give it a skip. Oh, but in order to ride these rides, they don't have any pockets for stuff on them, so you have to put your stuff in a locker. This park also has an interesting virtual queue system. If you can sign up to use their app, you can book them via the app, but I couldn't get the one-time password to my SMS number to actually work. So if you're like me and you can't use the mobile app because you can't register, then they have these kiosks that you can go to and scan your park ticket, and you can make your basically ride reservations using that. You get these little paper QR codes and you use those to get on the rides. Nice system, so you don't have to wait in line for too long. Of course, when I started shooting my videos, some guys come to scrape the moss off the rock. It's so wet here and humid that I think moss just grows on everything. Not throwing any shade, moss, rock, scrapers. You guys are just doing your job. Oh, this ride just makes me sick looking at it. Everybody's screaming on this thing. Anyway, I rode a few more rides in the theme park and then headed out back into the ginormous complex. And the way they've got the whole thing set up makes it like, I think they really don't want you to go outside. They really don't want you to go outside. They really want you to stay inside. They really want you to stay in the shops and the restaurants and not come out to nature. Because if you come out to nature, you're not spending any money. But I found this really cool park behind the SkyWorlds hotel. This is the one that's associated with the theme park. Like the lobby is all made out to have like slides and things in it. Like it looks like it's a lot of fun for kids. I'm sure our daughter, the Curious Princess, would love it if we were to stay here. Maybe next time, Curious Princess. So anyway, from inside, follow the signs to SkyWorlds Hotel. From SkyWorlds Hotel, go out and then walk outside in the direction of the cable car. And keep going, and then eventually you'll see a bridge to your left. It'll cross the road, you can come down it, you can walk along the road a little bit, and you'll find a gate. It'll bring you in here, to this garden. And the views from this garden, you can look all the way down to where the outlet mall is, you can see where the temple is, but what's most interesting about this garden is that it's actually on top of like a 6-story building. It's pretty crazy, but this is one of the best places to enjoy nature, and I feel like the people that have found this are likely the locals as opposed to the tourists that are just stuck inside, stuck in the first world hotel, choking on the air in there. Oh, and on my way I got a tea from Chagi. This place at the Pavilion Mall had a really long line the other day, and so I thought I'd give it a try. It's from Yunnan province in China, and they make the tea out of a tea presso machine, which is like an espresso machine, so it makes a high pressure. It's pretty good. But it comes with a tiny little straw, like the smallest straw I've ever seen. No bueno on that little straw. I had to put the big straw in for it to work. I seem to have developed an audience back here. I always love people who want to be on YouTube. Well, all right, Genting Highlands, the time is getting late. I need to make my way down the cable car back home. It's a long journey, so until next time, Resorts World. All right, so it's just about 8 o'clock, and I'm back in KL now, and I decided to eat dinner here instead of up there. Why? Well, because the road is really twisty and really windy, and I was worried if I ate that I would yak on my drive, and I picked well because the Grab driver on the way back was not as smooth of a driver as the one on the way there. Let's just say that. So I had my eyes closed pretty much most of that journey, but I made it, and so I'm now at this food court in the basement level of the Four Seasons Place shops. So it's in the Kuala Lumpur city center. What do I have here? Bakute. This is like a herbal soup. There's like a lot of Chinese medicines and herbs in it. Should be good for my voice, my throat, hopefully. We got some meats and some things in there, like organ meat. Came with a combo with some healthy vegetables, some spicy stuff, some rice to go with it. It comes boiling hot. It usually comes served in this clay pot right here. Now what have I got to drink? I've got some lime juice. Makes you pucker. All right, so here we are at the Batu Caves. Who am I with? I am joined by Zach, a fellow explorer here from Malaysia. Zach's gonna be showing us around the Batu Caves. Zach, there's a huge statue behind us. Who's this guy?
He's the god of war, Lord Murugan.
Yeah, and do you know how many stairs it is to go up into this cave?
Yeah, I think it's about almost 300 steps.
That's a lot of steps.
Yeah.
I was reading that they made those steps to make it like be a sacrifice to get to God. You know, it's actually raining quite a bit now, which is nice because it's cool, but we're gonna get out of the rain and we're gonna see up there. All right, so as we're starting the walk up here, 278 steps total. I'm very happy it's raining because it's really hot in Kuala Lumpur most of the time. And I think the fact that we're raining is actually you know, perhaps the god of war looking down on us and smiling, saying, welcome, cooled it down for you today. So, thank you very much. But after about 10 minutes to the top of the stairs, I will say if you're doing this, definitely go slow, because it's not just that there's a lot of stairs, but they're also really tall stairs. So I feel like this is definitely one of the more tiring staircases I've walked up before. Okay, and at the top of the stairs is where the cave temple begins. And some very smart entrepreneurs have set up a stall pretty much entirely selling drink right at the top. You'll want some to drink when you get up here. And after going up all those stairs to get down into the cave temple, it's down some even more stairs. And then it looks like up even more once you're on the inside. Okay, so from that entrance, panning this way, brings you into the big open part of the cave. It's dripping in here, like the rain clearly comes into the cave. This is the main temple right here. It's got lights on it. This is a really interesting place. Like the stalactites or stalagmites, the moss on the side of the cave. It's illuminated in here. And if you want to go in the main temple, note you may not wear your shoes. You have to take off your shoes before you go into the main temple. You can wear your socks though. Now the main temple, very beautiful in there. You can see them doing some rituals inside. You can even get a little something up on your forehead here. But as I'll say, I'm not sure that the rain was a blessing or a curse, because I'm not sure whether it's sweat or just wet, but now nothing dries because it's so humid. All right, well after that main temple, there are now more stairs to go. These stairs look even steeper than the ones before. Wet too. Good thing is there is a handrail if you need it. Once you make it to the top of that second staircase, it brings you up here. There's a smaller little temple. You also need to take off your shoes if you want to go in there, although you can see it all from the outside, so you don't really have to unless you're getting a blessing from them. And you look up and you can see the sun in this one. Really reminds you how this used to be. Lots of jungle back in the day. And 2 quick pro tips for visiting the Batu Caves. 1, if you want to beat the crowds and beat the heat, come early. I would say try to get here before 10 a.m. Now that it's after than 10 a.m., it's getting much, much busier, and the heat is definitely on. Number 2, beware of the monkeys. This place is known for monkeys. Don't bring food. The monkeys, if they smell food, they'll steal it, they'll eat it, and then you won't get to eat it. I've just watched a monkey stealing someone else's food. Like literally, it happened just now. So I don't want it to happen to you. These monkeys are really not afraid of people. I mean, I was like 2 inches from that monkey. He wasn't afraid of me.
Yeah.
So when you're down at the bottom, there's a bunch of temples and things like that you can explore here too. But Zach, tell us about the experience that you just had with the monkey coming down that staircase.
Yeah, one of the monkeys tried to steal something, empty bottle from me.
He didn't try, he did, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Zach was walking down by the railing, a monkey comes up, I was behind him, so I watched it. The monkey grabbed the empty water bottle from his backpack. Zach tried to get it back, and the monkey was like, and then the monkey looked at the water bottle, realized it was empty, and dropped it. Yeah, so they're aggressive, so watch out for them.
Yep.
All right, after visiting the Batu Caves, there's another cave nearby that we visited, the Sri Ramayana Cave. This one a lot newer. You have to pay admission to go in this one. It's 15 ringgit for foreigners or 10 ringgit for locals. There's that foreigner and locals price. Don't feel cheated if you're paying more than locals. And when you come in here, they've got a whole bunch of dioramas that tell a story, and then you can go up to the top of what seems like 100 or 200 stairs. And then you get to this cave complex up here. You gotta take your shoes off to come in here, but it was cool to see a little baby stalactite, stalagmite over there. 11 years old or young, formed just by the water dropping in the cave every day. This cave is much cooler than the Batu Caves because this is fully enclosed, so not really any hot, humid outside KL air that's getting in here. So after all that caving, we've worked up an appetite, and I showed Zach my food list, and he's like, Chris, I know a great satay place. Where are we, Zach?
We are somewhere in Gombak, which is outskirts of KL.
Yeah.
It's about 10-15 kilometers away from city center.
Okay, and what's the name of this satay place?
Samuri Satay Kajang.
Yeah, and what do we got here?
This is chicken satay, and this is a beef satay. Okay. Of course, they have others, but this is
these are the classics.
This is the most popular one.
Okay, do you like the chicken or the beef better?
I like the beef better.
The beef better?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with the beef.
Okay.
How do you eat this? You take a beef?
Yeah. You dip it in the sauce.
And you dip
like
it in the
this,
sauce?
Then you eat it.
Oh yeah, you like ladle the sauce in there, right? All right.
Like this.
Let's do it. It's good.
If you like to make it spicier, you just add the sambal on the side.
So after lunch, I was showing Zach my list of places that I still need to go, saying I wasn't sure that I was gonna make it to the Royal Selangor pewter factory tour because I didn't think it was close to anything. And Zach's actually like, dude, it's right near the satay place. He didn't say dude though. Did you say dude?
No.
No, you didn't say, he didn't say dude. But turns out this is his first time here. What'd you think of the pewter
Yeah, I
factory
think it's
tour?
cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. They have a very good visitor center. They give you a guided tour.
Do you remember what pewter's made of? Tin?
Antimony, and copper.
Very good.
Yeah.
+1. Oh, and this thing that we were standing in front of, this is the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest tankard ever made of pewter. This thing weighs over 1,500 kilograms. Pewter's really heavy. And it can fit about 5,000 pints of beer. So, there you go. It's hollow on the inside. After the pewter tour, we drove to Merdeka Square. This is known as Independence Square. That's what Merdeka means. It has one of the world's largest flagpoles right up there. And it has one of the most iconic buildings to take a selfie in front of in KL. And as my luck would have it, they're mowing the lawn right now. Wow, that job to mow this lawn in this heat is really rough. That person needs to get paid extra. And at the base of that flagpole is a picture of the first Prime Minister of Malaya declaring independence from Britain. And right next to the Sultan Abdul Samad building is another one of these classic British architecture, colonial era Moorish buildings. Now, if you're wondering what this building is now, well, it's being refurbished for something. It used to be a post office. And this one over here, it's now the National Textile Museum. I'm glad to see they're able to repurpose these old classic buildings for modern uses. All right, Zach, what are we walking on right now?
This is what they call the river of life.
But we're not in the river.
Now,
The river's over there.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is the spot where two rivers met. Historically, this is where Kuala Lumpur was founded, at this
spot.
intersection. Yeah,
So this is the muddy confluence.
that's right.
It's not muddy anymore.
Now it's dirty.
The mud's been gone.
Pollution,
It
yeah.
reminds me a little bit of the Los Angeles River.
Okay.
Yes, but the walkway on this side is much nicer.
Yeah.
With
This
less.
was, I think, was recently made, I think, less than 10 years ago.
Oh, the walkway.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
What's the mosque over there?
That is the Masjid Jami of Kuala Lumpur, one of the oldest in KL. People still go there for Friday prayers, the 5 times prayer per day.
You know what I noticed as I was shooting B-roll of that mosque? There's fish in the river. But not in the river. And there's like this little aquarium feature next to the walkway. There's catfish. Kitty, 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 catfish. So from the River of Life, we walked over to the mosque to check out if we could visit it. Closed all day on Fridays for prayer days. So we decided to do the next best thing. Eat durian. We are here in the Central Market, which is a great market for like souvenirs and also foods. We are at Chinatown Chendol. Chendol is a Malaysian style shave ice. And what do I have here?
You have Musang King Chendol.
What is Musang King?
Is the durian, the type of durian, the most expensive one.
Top of the line.
Yeah, top of the line.
This was like 44 ringgit
Yeah.
right here. The price for this was the price of our entire satay earlier. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you have there?
This is ABC, short for Batu Campur, Ice Batu Campur.
I
So
noticed you
ABC.
have no durian in yours.
No durian.
Yeah. Why not?
Because it's a hot day. So I don't like to have durian on a hot day because it becomes heaty, you know.
Do you like durian?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I do.
So cold days.
Yeah. So I only take durian at night, you know, and not during the day because it will build up your heat inside your body.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So you can look forward to seeing me sweat much more for the rest of this day then. All right, the moment of truth you've all been waiting for, Chris to try the durian. We're gonna go in for this. It's pleasant. It's pleasant. I actually quite like it.
Acceptable?
Yeah, it's pretty acceptable. I think it's pretty good.
Alright.
I mean, is it like, do I really feel I need to go out of my way to pay 40 ringgit for it? No, but I don't hate it. There's people who eat it and they're like, oh, maybe they just haven't had the king. get the king of durian while you're here. So right near the Central Market is Chinatown, and Chinatown has a market of a very different kind from the Central Market, where Central Market is kind of lights and artsy vibe. The Petaling Street Market, which is Chinatown's Central Market, this definitely appears to be where you can get your fakes in KL. Now, if what you're shopping for is for some fake designer merchandise, you know, not the Gucci, but the Bucci, not the Adidas, but the Abibus, you'll find that in Chinatown at the Petaling Street Market. One good part about this, it's covered, so it's a little bit cool because you're not in the hot sun, but it's so busy and crowded that there's no air that gets in here, so the heat can definitely build up inside. And there's a cool temple in Chinatown to visit that we couldn't because it was closed for remodeling, it looks like. This is Guan Di Temple right here. So if it's open, give it a go when you come. Or a block away is the very colorful Sri Mahamariamman Temple, a Hindu temple that if you want to go in here, you need to take off your shoes, and they're happy to store your shoes for you for the low, low price of 20 cents. We just sat down for dinner. Zach took me to a restaurant that's one of his favorites. Zach, where are we?
We're in Bukit Bintang. It's a Chinese restaurant that serves chicken rice, which is halal, meaning Muslims can eat here, no problem.
Do you like this place just because it's halal or because it's tasty too?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
What do we have in front of us?
Okay. This is roasted chicken. This is steamed chicken. This is mango salad. And these are soup for the rice. I have a barley drink, iced barley drink, and you are having Assam boy iced drink. First, you take the sauce, chili sauce, very spicy. Put it here. Then you take a little bit of chicken here, and also here.
This is the steamed and this is the roasted chicken.
Yeah, some cucumber.
I notice you're not using chopsticks.
No.
Okay.
You are eating rice with spoon and fork.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So take some salad over here and mix it up with the soup because the rice is dry. And you take a small piece of chicken and put some chili sauce on it.
Down the hatch. All right. Thank you for the chicken rice lesson. I love this dish and I've been doing it wrong all these years. Zach, thank you so much for showing me around your hometown today.
You're most welcome, man.
It's been a fantastic day.
Yep.
You're a great ambassador for Kuala Lumpur.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And I'll see you in the next video. But this video's not over. Keep watching. Right? See them in the comments below. As we get to Brickfields today, I'm not taking a crab or taxi. I'm going to take the monorail line. I am making a travel guide about KL. So yes, I take public transit too. Interesting setup to ride the public transit. You can buy the card that you can just tap on and off if you're going to be here for a long time. Or if you want to do one ride at a time, then you buy a token. That's what you get. The price for this ride from this stop to KL Central 6 stops later was 270 ringgit. To get in, you just tap the token in, and it opens the gates. You wait for your train. It says the frequency is every 8 minutes, though it doesn't tell me when it's going to be. Con of taking the monorail, definitely these stations are open air, not air conditioned. Good news, train's here. We're on board. Hopefully there should be AC in there. All right, after about a 20-minute monorail ride, we arrived here at KL Central Monorail Station. The ride itself, slow. The monorail definitely is not the fastest mode of transportation, but it is pretty. Like really interesting views from this kind of like upper elevated track. A lot of times I'm on public transit, I just respond to YouTube comments or maybe close my eyes because they're boring and they're dark, but this was really pretty. I like this way of getting around the city. Okay, and then got the coin, like me, to get out. You don't tap it anymore to get out. You drop it in there. If you had a card, you would tap it. And what am I in now? What do they have at Central Station? A big shopping mall, as they would in KL. It's about noon, hungry for lunch. I'm gonna look for the food court here. Sign said it's on L3. Chris, lunch, you haven't done much today other than ride a monorail. Slow start out of the hotel room this morning. Had to do a lot of video editing, email, YouTube stuff. So, not every day can be go, go, go. All right, let's go. Let's go find the food court on level 3. All right, food court found. The quiz in food court. Let's see what's here. We've got Malaysian cuisine, young tofu, which looks like it has a lot of noodles, seafood, and tofu things that they'll boil up for you. There's a robot cafe that'll make matcha tea and coffee for you. 6 ringgit for a coffee Americano. We've got a chicken rice spot here. We've got a nasi lemak specialist. All right, so what stall did I settle on? The Walk and Grill. Why? Well, because they had hawking me these noodles that were on my list. Fresh walked noodles. These are different than the char kway teow we had the other day. Those were like a rice noodle. These are more of a egg noodle, thick noodle, also walked up fresh. Funny that they come in their own little wok kind of thing. I don't think they cook it in this wok. I think they cooked it in a big wok, but it's funny that my food came in a wok. 12 ringgit for this and 5 ringgit for the soybean drink. And of course some chili sambal, some peppers, and some soup on the side. After about a 10-minute walk down that sidewalk, I am here in Brickfield's Little India. How do I know? The fountain. This is the centerpiece of Little India. It's got lions and tigers and bears. It doesn't have any of those. It has elephants and it has swans, and oh my, it is quite a fountain. I explored the Brickfields neighborhoods for about an hour, checking out the sights and smells, and of course sounds too. The Indian music playing was quite loud, especially from the Bollywood building. Now I'm on my way to the actual train part of KL Central Station to check that out. I came in on the monorail part. It's kind of disconnected where the trains actually come in. So that's what I'm looking for now. Google Maps is telling me to like go up this way and over this way out in the heat, but I think I can go probably back through the new Sentral Mall through air conditioning. So let's try that. I like air conditioning. That way it looks really hot and sunny. And yes, much as I suspected, the new Sentral Mall has its own entrance into KL Central train station. If you're coming this way, come in the new Central, go up to the concourse level, which is CC or C, and then from there you can go down into the actual train station. It's funny, after I drop down from the escalator, there's an advertisement here for Himalaya salt, lemon, ginger, and it says improve hydration and keep warm. Is that a problem around here? Keep warm? I'm definitely not having that problem. But honestly, kind of disappointed by KL Central Station. I mean, I was hoping for something big and grand. It's tall, it's kind of dark. It feels more like a dark convention hall mixed with a bus hall than it does a grand train station. You know, maybe I'm so disappointed in the Central Station because I drove by the old Central Station last night, and it's really beautiful. Like, it's the traditional Moorish architecture, and I don't know why they replaced that with like an old bus station. Why am I saying that right here? I took the red line one stop and I looked at the old Central Station again as I was going by, and reminded me to say that. Alright, so as I just got off the train here into the Tun Razak Exchange Station, it's funny because with them making announcements for this station, they said Tun Razak Exchange Samsung Galaxy Station. Like the Samsung Galaxy Station. And of course it makes sense because Samsung Galaxy is plastered everywhere in this station. Kuala Lumpur is actually allowed Samsung to sponsor a station on their train line. First time I've ever seen a branded subway station, like officially as like a stop, like announced Samsung Galaxy stop. Wow. I mean, maybe if they let Apple sponsor KL Central, they get some more money to make that station look awesome. Apple, you want a 1-for-1 for Samsung over here? Yeah, think about it. Oh, and Samsung didn't just sponsor like the train track level. They've like sponsored everything in this train station. This is definitely the Samsung station. I mean, like, there's the Samsung Galaxy VR experience somehow. Like, you know, look, it's got like Samsung things up here. You can wait for the train. I'm surprised they didn't have that inside the actual trains. That would have been cool. I feel like the station is pretty new and must still be working out their signage because I think where everybody goes, they just have a temporary sign to tell people, TRX Mall up here. Enjoy Samsung Galaxy on your way up. On the way to the mall, they let another brand in. Cathay Pacific got this hallway. Inside the TRX Mall, I definitely found a store that was calling out to me. The Game Throne. Wow, that is a Game Throne. And it's yellow. First, I was thirsty, so I got a matcha drink, 20 ringgit here. And I see apple. maybe they didn't have to sponsor the station because they're like, oh, we're already paying enough rent for the 2-story Apple store. It's a big one. And the Apple store has a staircase to get out to the park. On the top of the shopping mall is a wonderful grassy park. Great place to get away from the city, on top of the city, and just take it all in from here. One of the things to take in is the Exchange 106, the 106-story building right next to this park. You know, making the ring around the park, it's actually like a little bit of a hiking trail on the top of this whole complex. And this big hole in the ground over here, maybe this is gonna be a site for the next 107-story building. Oh my gosh, this mall actually has everything up on top of this park. They have these little cars that you can rent with kiddos. This one's like a spaceship that goes up and down. Wow. Oh, and I see Shake Shack is bringing some competition to Five Guys in Kuala Lumpur. Let's see what their menu looks like. I always like to see what these American chains have their menu changes. So, a Shack burger here is going to cost you 23 ringgit, so it's about $5. And their Malaysia exclusive is the Bunga Raya Shake. Hibiscus jelly topped with vanilla frozen custard blended with dragon fruit and gula melaka topped with whipped cream, coconut, and a drizzle. Sounds good. Other than that, the menu looks pretty American. Oh, actually the biggest difference is that these burgers, they usually have bacon, don't have bacon. It is smoked, streaky beef. Muslim country, no pork, no bacon. On my way back into the mall from the park, I heard a really creative performance of Rosé and Bruno Mars. Oh no, back in the mall. What did I find here? Royal Sling Door store from the Pewter Tour. But as I head outside from the TRX Mall to find dinner, I'm really struck by the hodgepodge of development that KL is. It's developing so fast. You get these amazing complexes with 106-story buildings, and then right next to it, you get these buildings that are like nearly falling apart because of the weather. And you got durian right there. And then in the distance to that, you got these amazing skyscrapers with these sky bridges. I mean, it's just such a hodgepodge of everything. And then you toss a few mosques and Chinese and Indian temples in the middle, and you got KL. I always feel like it's a pretty regular occurrence that you stand at these pedestrian crossings, and they just never change, or they change forever. And people get fed up with it, and then they just run across the road. That's gonna happen here. Just went through a full revolution on this intersection. This pedestrian crossing never went green. And so eventually people are gonna get fed up and they're gonna make the lunge and they put their hand out. Cars maybe stop, maybe they don't. But that's the only way you get across the street sometimes. All right, I found my way back to Bukit Bintang, the main shopping area. The music is coming from Kung Fu Panda Tea. Sounds like my kind of place. No, I'm stopping though. Still looking for dinner. Okay, this sounds interesting. New Orleans chicken thigh scone. Or maybe no. Boba durian coffee. The choices are so many on this street. But no. Because what I was searching for was for the shawarma at Damascus. Except what I wasn't prepared for was this line. Bum bum bum. Line's officially ridiculous. Plan B, Google Maps, shawarma. What's nearby? Shawarma Street. There's not a street called Shawarma Street, but there's a restaurant called Shawarma Street. The reviews on Google Maps, people say they like it better than the nearby famous one. So, let's see. Hope the line's shorter. Oh, cat crossing the street. Hi, cat. Apparently this is the Shibuya crossing of KL. Alright, I made it to Shawarma Street. Best part, no line. Sat down immediately. Food at my table in about 5 minutes. I got the beef and chicken mixed platter plate. A couple sauces, a 15 ringgit mango drink. Air conditioned in here, although I will say, only tourists, but hey, I'll take the touristy food over the wait line for an hour full. All right, so how was Shawarma Street? Decent, but not amazing, and I have no basis of reference to compare it to the Damascus shawarma. Be curious, fellow explorers, if you've eaten it both, which one do you think is better? I'd have to come back at like 3 in the afternoon to eat at the famous Damascus one. Well, how did I do on my checklists? Pretty good. I didn't make it quite through everything, but I'm gonna call it about 90%, which is all you need for an A-. Fellow Explorers, takes a lot of effort to shoot and record these long vlogs. If you enjoyed it, let me know so that I continue to make more of these long vlogs, because it's just like making and editing a movie, frankly. Now, if your travels are bringing you to Kuala Lumpur, or you just want to dive into more about this fantastic city, I'll put links on the screen to more of my KL series. And as usual, I won't say goodbye because I'm going to see you in the next video.